We're continuing to track multiple wildfires in our region this morning. We'll tell you where those evacuation warnings remain and where progress is being made. Plus, we're taking a look at some new laws that took effect in California, what you need to know as you head out this morning.
And after a very active day yesterday, today we're tracking slightly cooler temperatures, but also taking another look at more thunderstorms. I have all the details for you coming up.
Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 5 o'clock on July 2nd. Welcome to NewsWatch 12 this morning. I'm Carlos Murrieta. We first want to turn over to Storm Tracker 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress for a look at our Wednesday. And Sarah, I know it was hot and stormy again yesterday. Can we expect the same conditions heading into today?
Today we can expect to see more storms for us. Still going to be on the hotter side, but in terms of intensity, not quite like what we saw yesterday. Here's a look at one of those storms we saw yesterday in Weed. Absolutely stunning picture, but we did see quite a bit of lightning with these storms yesterday. Taking a look out at radar, definitely a different picture from what we were seeing last night. Much calmer conditions for us across the region, starting out on the mild side. Today we do have the risk for thunderstorms, but it is mainly going to be areas over east side and into northern California for us. But we're taking a look around the rest of the region. We'll be staying pretty hot for us today, maybe a few degrees cooler in a few areas closer to normal today. But bright skies will be here for us areas west side, and we can expect widespread gusty winds into the afternoon. Taking a look outside at this morning, it is pretty mild for us as we're into our west side valley, 70 right now into Medford, 61 over into Yreka. We're at 54 at both Gold Beach and Klamath Falls, seeing some clouds in some areas into the sky as well. But overall today, it is shaping up to be a better day. Areas over west side and a few areas over to the east. Best chances for those storms are going to be as we're over into Lake County and into portions of Siskiyou County as well. But those high temperatures, you'll notice it is slightly cooler than the past couple of days, but it is still going to be feeling pretty hot if you're working your way outdoors. Now, today as well, on top of the risk for those thunderstorms, we do have the risk for those wildfires. We have a red flag warning today, this time areas into Klamath Lake and eastern Siskiyou County from 2 to 8 p.m. where we could see scattered thunderstorms. And again, those potential for some fire starts. I'll go into a bit more details of the timing of these storms and where exactly we'll see them coming up in your next forecast.
Back on the fire watch this morning, the Klamath National Forest responded to 11 fires yesterday, all sparked by another round of lightning across the region. The largest is the Summit Fire burning in the Marble Mountain Wilderness on the Salmon Scott River Ranger District. The fire is about 6 acres big and is burning in the footprint of the 2014 Man Fire, an area filled with snags and rugged terrain. Firefighters, including smoke, jumpers, helicopters, and air tankers have been working to contain the fire. Evacuations do remain in place this morning for zones SIS 1414 and zone SIS 2100A. Both are under Go Now evacuation orders, while zone SIS 2100B is under an evacuation warning. Hikers are also being asked to avoid the Pacific Crest Trail and other nearby areas, including Cliff and Campbell Lakes. And the South Central Oregon Fire Management Partnership also responded to multiple lightning-caused fires, including the biggest, the Black Canyon Fire on the Harp Mountain Refuge. That fire has grown to an estimated 300 acres and is being driven by strong winds. It's burning east of where the Warner Peak Fire sparked last year. Crews remain on scene this morning with engines, ground teams, helicopters, and continuing those suppression efforts. Road closures are in place in the area, and for more details, you can head on over to our website, kdrv.com. And ODF Southwest responded to multiple fires following Monday storms, with 15 fire reports in total and 10 of those confirmed to be lightning caused. The largest being the East Trail Creek fire, which prompted evacuations, but they have since been dropped due to a quick response between ODF, the U.S. Forest Service, and the Bureau of Land Management. And take a look at this footage that ODF shared with us. It took a flight yesterday, helping officials monitor the fire's progress from the air and help them spot those hot spots and just finding those spots to get the fire out. And in Lake County, South Central Oregon Fire Management Partnership is responding to the Bowers Bridge fire near Lakeview. They estimate the fire to be about 100 acres at this time, and there are currently no immediate threats to the public or road closures, but responders are asking you to avoid the area for firefighter safety. And as of today, fire danger in Jackson and Josephine counties have risen to high, triggering increased fire restrictions. ODF will enforce limits on equipment that produces sparks between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m., though mowing green lawns is still allowed. For industrial operations, activities like sawing, blasting, and welding will only be allowed before 1 p.m. and after 8 p.m. And new this morning, a new series of laws have went into effect in the state of California on July 1st. From consumer issues to mental health, we're taking a look at some of those laws and what you should know. All bars and nightclubs in the state will now be required to provide lids to any customer who asks for one. This new law is aimed to combat drink spiking. The law applies to businesses with a Type 48 license, which includes venues that serve alcohol but not food. The law also requires for establishments to have safety notices informing people about the lids and the drinking test kits. Plus, there are 2 expected changes in gas prices in the state. First one, a 1.6-cent gas tax increase, and the second, an update to fuel standards. This could add between 5 to 8 cents per gallon. Now, there were claims from Congressman Doug LaMalfa and the California Republican congressional delegation that the state would see price hikes pushing prices more than $8.40 by the end of 2026. Governor Newsom responded saying those claims of drastic increases are misleading. And staying on the topic of consumerism, companies offering online subscriptions must now make it easy for consumers to cancel. This includes requiring clear consent before auto-renewing subscriptions and providing easy cancellation methods. Companies must also send renewal reminders in advance of notice of any changes in fees. We'll have more information and details on new laws on California coming up on NewsWatch 12 this morning at 5:30. And platforms like Airbnb and Vrbo must clearly disclose any additional fees that may be charged to guests. This means adding on the fees like cleaning that will be deducted on to the total price, so customers know how much they'll be paying. Penalties for failing to complete required cleaning tasks must be specified to customers before they can check out. And new rules are in place for e-bikes at Oregon State parks, updating language and expanding where e-bikes can be used. Previously, e-bikes were only allowed on trails in Oregon State parks that were at least 8 feet wide. Now, e-bikes are allowed on trails where other bikes are allowed on, as well as on wet sand at the ocean shore. E-bikes will continue to be prohibited on dry sand, other certain trails, and anywhere signs are posted prohibiting e-bikes. And after 5 years of planning, Oregon's Plastic Pollution and Recycling Modernization Act, or RMA, is now in effect. This creates an extended producer responsibility law, which requires manufacturers to contribute to funding recycling services. Food and beverage cartons, pizza boxes, round plastic containers will soon be collected in curbside recycling bins. A waste reduction program supervisor told us what that really means for people.
Residents across the state of Oregon is that they will be able to recycle more commingled material at our facilities and at the curb.
New Recycle on Oregon centers will open in the coming months and years. There, people can drop off stretchy plastics, plastic lids, and other items that cannot be collected on curbside. And the $5 utility fee is taking effect in Ashland. The fee is a result of a $1.4 million budget shortfall. All changes being made are meant to have the least impact on park users. The Ashland Parks and Recreation Department will limit watering in some of the smaller parks across Ashland. The grass might also be a little bit longer to be more maintainable.
We're monitoring to ensure that we aren't getting litter and all those other things. Here at Lithia Park, our irrigation won't change, and our sports fields, they won't change.
With this $5 utility fee, there will be no impact to the Daniel Myers Memorial Pool and the splash pad, but you might see some dry grass and less trash cans around. And an update on the water advisory on Lost Creek Lake. The Oregon Health Authority has now lifted the advisory. The advisory was issued June 24th for the possibility of toxic algae blooms. Further water monitoring confirmed levels are now below recreational guideline values for people. A closer look at that advisory and toxic algae can be found on our website. In NewsWatch 12's Wake Up and Win is back. You get the chance to win 4 tickets to the Jackson County Fair. All you have to do is watch NewsWatch 12 this morning between 6:45 and 7 a.m. Spot that daily code word and enter on our website. One winner will be selected today through Friday.
This morning definitely looking much different from what we saw last night. Much calmer conditions as we're starting off our Wednesday, but we are in for some changes into the afternoon. We are still expecting to see spotty showers areas over east side and even some thunderstorms. That has warranted a red flag warning in place today, areas over east side and into eastern Siskiyou County from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. today. So new fire starts are going to be likely with this round of thunderstorms as well. So coming up in our next forecast, I'll go ahead and break down what we can expect today, where and when we'll start to see these storms.